Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Well, today is what is it? I'm so bad at math. Is this the second Tuesday or the third Tuesday, guys? Help me. Third Tuesday of the month, which means it's time for Vinegar, Spice, and Everything Nice with Thomas Allen from California Balsamic Vinegar and Nick Devoren, or I think I said that wrong. He pronounces it differently. He'll let you know, of Local Spicery. And they're going to make fabulous recipes with their products. Today, we're going to be watching Thomas make Chipotle mango quinoa salad, a cilantro quinoa salad, and a vegan Portobello Carnitas tacos. And Nick is going to be making 3 amazing vegan salad dressings with his signature spices. If you want to see them in person and buy their products without any shipping, please come to our live conference on September 17th in Sacramento, and you can hear fabulous speakers like Dr. Doug Lyle, Dr. Alan Goldhammer, Dr. Rosanna Alviera, and the almost 100-year-old Dr. Don Scharfenberg. Please welcome Thomas and Nick to the show. Hi, guys. I missed seeing you last month.
We went through withdrawals, Chef. It was just horrible not having our monthly broadcast here, but all of a sudden we're back to normal here. And even though this is a new setting for us again, moving to Santa Rosa, we're only 2 miles from True North. So anytime you're there, let me know and I'll pop right over and say hi to everybody.
Well, I think I might be there next month, but Thomas, Dr. Goldhammer said something, and I think he might have talked out of turn. He said you have some flavored as he calls it, soda pop vinegars. Is that true?
So the flavors that aren't near as sweet, of course, the organic balsamic, 10 calories. That's what Dr. Goldhammer wants. He wants a 10-calorie balsamic vinegar, which we have, and it's organic. And we've made just a little bit of samples for Chef Bravo and for Dr. Goldhammer of our organic ginger, organic teriyaki, the organic curry balsamic. And we made those and we sent them samples just to get their opinion to see what they think. And they
never got back to you?
Well, they're working on, they're just trying them out and testing them. I hope that they're going to test them with some of the people who are staying at True North to get their opinion and see if they might want to, use some of the organic balsamic at True North. And if they do, fine. We could even call it the True North organic balsamic line, if he wants to do that. So this is something that we're working on, and it would be easy to do, but they're just not near as sweet because Dr. Goldhammer, he wants 10 calories a tablespoon, and that's tough to find for a quality balsamic. That's for sure. And
if you want it to taste good, for sure.
Yep, but that's why putting in the ginger and garlic or teriyaki, and curry, that's what's going to give it some flavor and make salads and vegetables exciting.
Nice. Well, I can't wait to try them.
Yep. So as you know, Ethel and I are living in Santa Rosa, and I never had children because I lived in Japan for so many years and came back and did the business and struggled so much at the beginning. And, having children just didn't happen, which was sad. And Ethel came along and she said, "Oh, you want children? See ya." So with that in mind, we said, all right, there'll be no kids in our future, until all of a sudden we have a little bundle of joy, and her name is Brinley. And come on down.
Did she just show up on your doorstep one day?
Thank you very much. This is our grandniece, Brinley, and she's going to be staying with us for the next several months. She starts school. When do you start school? Tomorrow, and what did we learn yesterday? We learned how to tie your shoes. Oh, we are on a roll around here. So besides all the toys and little games and whatnot that every 5-year-old has, we said, oh, I now have children. Lucky.
Well, congratulations.
So that's what's going on now. So we're very excited, aren't we? Say yes. Yes, we are. See ya.
That's something.
So that's very exciting. She's going to school just around the corner from us, and that's going to be really easy to do. So Life is good. What a pleasant change of pace we have here. Anyway, Nick, I haven't talked to you in forever. I'm sorry to say.
Been too long. You're looking good, my friend.
Thank you, thank you. But hey, what happens as always? The camera puts on 10 pounds on here. I often have people who see me somewhere and they'll say, "Oh, you've lost weight." And I said, "That's television. You're always gonna look a little bit bigger here." And oh, dear me. I always say, "Well, thank you, but I haven't changed my weight in 25 or 30 years. It's always consistent, and I want to keep it that way." Thank you very much.
You're looking tall, Thomas. You're looking very tall.
must be my platform slippers. And of course, slippers takes on a whole new meaning when you're living in Hawaii. Flip-flops, as everybody knows them, actually call them slippers out there. And so I wear slippers in the house at all times, but these are the really tall, squishy flip-flops. And I've always enjoyed wearing them just because they're comfortable. And friends of ours who were, of course, out in Maui, everybody is, talking about the fires on Maui, and everybody's just horrified. And friends of mine said, "Oh, if you can donate to, the MauiFoodBank.org, we did that." And it's just, horrifying to see the places that I used to go to all the time on Front Street in Lahaina, and the banyan tree, it's just all toasted. And it's just like being in this area in Santa Rosa 4 years ago, thousands of homes gone. And, and everybody is just sick about that. And especially in a tourist area like Lahaina that millions of people have visited. My great-great-great-grandfather was a whaler in Lahaina back in the early 1800s, which just blows me away that I have relatives who used to be there hundreds of years ago. So that's a real kick in the pants to know that they went from Massachusetts, sailed all the way down and around and out to Hawaii to get the whales and take the oil back and all the way back again. That is just something that I can't even imagine doing on those small ships way back when. But Lahaina must have been a totally different animal all that time ago. So anyway, we're here, we're rocking and rolling, we're back in action. We've got a really fun lineup of salads. Now, as everybody knows, cilantro is a love or hate item there. In your DNA, you have or don't have a gene in your DNA that makes you like cilantro. Nick, what about you? You got that DNA in the gene?
I passionately love cilantro and any fresh herbs.
Good for you. Chef, what about you?
I wouldn't say I like it a lot. I don't like seek it, but my favorite herb would probably be mint. But yes, I do like cilantro, but I've learned to not really put it in recipes because, when we have our gatherings, Dr. Doug Lyle hates it. So I feel it's easier to sometimes put on the side.
AJ, have you ever tried savory?
I haven't. I've heard of that spice though.
Savory is probably my favorite herb, and it's great fresh if you can get it, but it's also great dried. It's not used often, but it's just got such a wonderful, clean flavor. I'd have to say that's my favorite herb.
Wow. Oh, how interesting. Well, Ethel and I, thank goodness, we're both in the camp that we wouldn't put cilantro on anything if you paid us. We find it a challenge to use. So the cilantro is in here, and I find if cilantro is cooked, I don't mind it as much. But when it's fresh and you get the little bits, in a salad, I just find the salad is ruined. Now, savory, we have some quinoa and some farro in here with all the goodies, I don't mind it as much as if it were in an actual green salad. And when it is in there, we start picking it out if we can, and that's just the way it is for the two of us. And I'm glad we're on the same page, because it would be horrible. You'd always have to put something on the side of that for when somebody wants it or don't want it. The cute story about cilantro that we had about our balsamic line, when we first started making it, we took the long cilantro stems and chopped those bad boys right off. get rid of those things. And we just put the green herbs in there, and that's it. And we took it to our local farmers market, to test market the product. And people said, I don't taste any cilantro in here. And one person who loved it said, did you chop off the long stems of that? And we said, yes. Don't do that. The long stems are where the vast majority of the flavor is. So the next batch we made, we just put in the Cuisinart the entire herb and made it that way. And the flavor, of course, was dramatically better for those people who love cilantro. And so that's just a fun story to know for people. Don't chop off the stems. So, all right. So here we go. Our first recipe we're going to do is from Brenda Patchell. Thank you, Brenda, for the recipe. And this is the Chipotle Mango Quinoa Salad. Now, she made a very nice dressing that we made up just an hour ago and thought that this was a really, really good dressing. She starts off with a half a cup of the cilantro balsamic, 1/2 a cup of diced mangoes, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, 2 tablespoons of water, 1/2 teaspoon of chipotle chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of dried cilantro, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Put all that into the Cuisinart and blend it until it's completely pureed. Now, the actual salad, super simple. 3 cups of cooked quinoa, 3 to 4 green onions sliced, a red pepper diced, a large jalapeno seeded and finely diced, a can of black beans, a 15-ounce can of black beans, drained and rinsed, 1/2 cup of frozen corn that's thawed out, 1/2 cup of diced mango, 2 tablespoons of finely chopped cilantro, and pepitas for garnish. Chef, remind me, what's a pepita?
Pepita is a pumpkin seed.
Oh, that's right. I remember hearing that a while back. Okay, I actually found those in one of the bags of salad bags that had several items in it, and one of them it said, pepitas, and I said, "What is this?" So I tried them and liked them very much. And basically, then you just put all the ingredients together, and thank you very much. This is that's a heavy bowl. That's the bowl of all the goodies, and they placed all the dressing ingredients into the blender and blended till smooth in a medium bowl. Add all the salad ingredients and stir to combine, and then added your amount of the dressing to the salad and give it a stir. And you can sprinkle with the pepitas on top as a garnish. So this is a super simple, really filling salad here that works really well with the cilantro balsamic. I tried it, and I have to say, that's not bad. For somebody who doesn't like cilantro at all, that's actually good. So all is well. So that's recipe number 1. Super simple. Now, the next one is the little vegan Portobello Carnitas tacos. And we've got all the fixings right here, so we can kind of just put it all together. This is from the world famous Lori Gibson. And I wanted to give Lori a shout out. This is a new book that I got on Amazon from Lori Angelica Gibson. Oh, so young, inspiring others to explore the many flavors of plant-based nutrition with everyday favorites and weekend fun food, by Lori Gibson.
I never saw that. Very cool.
Yeah, it's brand new. So it just came out here in the last, I'm going to say, a month or so. So it's very exciting that she's got that out. Good for you, Lori. Alrighty. And it's fun. When we go to our festivals and farmers markets, we give out little sheets here that have several recipes on it that we give to customers. There's a vegan broccoli salad, a nice cream, a garlic basil and parsley pesto, a Gilroy garlic tofu. This is a dish that we made months ago with our Gilroy garlic, and a pear overnight oats. So recipes that we've made, and we give these to people so that they can have some good recipes. And Lori's is right here. So we've been giving Lori's recipe away for quite a while. So thank you again. Now, we use corn tortillas and the portobello mushroom caps that are sliced. We use 2 portobellos, which has plenty here. A teaspoon of you can use either the smoked hickory, the Gilroy garlic are 2 that are on here. And you'll find this recipe as well on our website, or the cilantro balsamic, a teaspoon of garlic powder, the juice of a lime, and then optional toppings: diced mango, red onion, cilantro, avocado, diced tomato, diced bell pepper, fresh or pickled jalapenos, cashew sour cream, or shredded cashew mozzarella. And those are all things that you can mix together to put right on top. And she says, all the ingredients to a large skillet and toss to combine, cooking over medium-high heat until the mushrooms are soft and reduced in size by about half. While the mushrooms are cooking, toast the tortillas over a medium heat in a flat pan or skillet until they begin to brown, and flip and repeat on the other side. Assemble the carnitas by layering the ingredients in any order you choose. Spread a thin layer of sour cream on the tortilla, followed by the mushrooms and then the toppings. And that is basically exactly what I have on here. I spread the vegan sour cream over there, and it also had the peppers and the jalapenos, and then it's going to get a little bit of the mango on here. I just love putting fresh mango into little veggie tacos. This is some red pepper and a little bit of tomato. You say tomato, I say tomato. I think somebody should write a song about that. And finally, a little bit more of the jalapenos, if you wanted to give that a little thrill out here. And there they are. This is a wonderful, easy summer dish here, and you can top it with cilantro, which I am definitely not going to do. And there it is. So thank you, Lori. That's a beautiful, wonderful, easy to do, put together dish that uses my favorite portobello mushrooms, which Ethel and I make all the time. We always load up the portobello's caps and put it in the caramelized onions and peppers, zucchini and squash and more mushrooms. That's just a dish that we'll make at least twice a month. And in batch cooking, we have to make at least 4 to 6 every time we do that. So we have plenty of leftovers. So that's what makes us happy. All good. Nick, you're in charge, young man.
Well, thank you. Those all look delicious. What I'm going to do today is go through salad dressings. And the reason why is about 3 weeks ago, I got a call here at our mill, and it was a woman who was placing her first order. And she's been following, hearing a lot about us and following me on Chef AJ for some time. She was very familiar with what we were doing, but she had a lot of questions about our blends and the product and how to cook with them. And at the end of the conversation, she told me, you know what would have really helped me? And I said, what was that? And she said, if you were to do a demonstration on how to make salad dressings, because it's really confusing her. And on the spot, I told her that that's what I would do for my next time up with Chef AJ. So that's the genesis, and that's the reason why we're doing this. Also, it's a good thing to do as we're deep into summer and we're all looking for things that we can quickly, rapidly prepare that are not hot and are refreshing. So with that, I'm going to dive into the prepared material of what we're going to do for salad dressings. I'm going to do 3 different dressings, all of them using a different strategy. And the strategy revolves around how do you thicken the salad dressing? You have your acid, and your acid could be some vinegar, it could be lemon juice, whatever. But to really make it, to me, a satisfying salad dressing, it's got to stick to the leaves, and so it's got It's got to be sticky and it's got to be a little bit heavier. And without using oil, that it causes some well, you've got to build a strategy. The three that I'm going to do, and they're all based on different spice blends, but the overriding lesson is this: that spice blends are a great place to start when you're thinking about a salad dressing, because the spice blend, the flavor is put together. It's just a question of what it is you pull with it to help, make it stick to the leaf and fill out the flavor that you're looking for. The first one I'm going to do uses a blend you really haven't heard much of because, warning, this blend is not SOS free. It's called Rincon, and it is it is based on the cuisine of Puerto Rico, and it does have a little bit of salt in it. So, what's a little bit? Well, the recipe that I'm going to prepare, which actually has a lot of that spice blend in it, works out to about 100 milligrams per serving, which is considered low sodium. But if I use the calculation that I'm supposed to use by US FDA, if I put a nutrition label on here, it would come out at 50 milligrams per serving. So it is a relatively to very low sodium content blend. The profile of this blend, what's really unique about it, the main ingredient is dried milled pineapple. And then we layer onto that pineapple some sun-dried tomato, some chilies, all of the kinds of things that you would see coming out of, I'm going to read these because actually they are extraordinary ingredients. Garlic, pineapple, tomato, coriander, sea salt, porcini mushroom, tamarind, basil, chilies, marjoram. Now the tamarind is really important because the tamarind plus the porcini mushroom give it kind of a rich umami flavor. And although what I ended up doing with this is blend it using pineapple and pineapple juice, it's not a really sweet dressing. So let's put this together. And I'm going to tell you up front, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to just put the ingredients in here. I'm not going to blend them, but I usually do blend them, using this. It's a small, very cheap Ninja food processor. It's more than adequate. If I were working back at home, I might use my Vitamix, but this is plenty for what we're doing. So what are we using to thicken this? Well, let's start out with the ingredients. We're going to use, the acid is going to be, in this case, I'm using a light white vinegar. This is champagne vinegar. It's a quarter of a cup. Do a quarter cup of champagne vinegar. And then I'm going to put in a quarter of a cup of pineapple juice. And then the first things that we're going to put in to thicken, because actually spice blends are thickeners. If you think about it, they're just dried agricultural products. When you put them in water, they're going to expand, they're going to thicken. So it's going to put in here 2 full teaspoons of the Rincon. But then I'm also going to add another one of our products that many of you are familiar with. It's quite popular among the SOS-free crowd. And that is our sun-dried tomato powder. I'm going to put an extra tablespoon because I wanted to beef up the tomato powder, but I also wanted to get some thickening from the tomato. Tomato is a great thickener. I'm going to put that in there. And then the primary strategy I'm using here in this is going to be fruit. Any kind of fruit can be added in here, and when it's pureed in the food processor, it'll thicken it automatically. In this case, I'm using pineapple. I'm not ashamed to be using canned pineapple this time. Usually, I would have a fresh one. I didn't get a fresh one. But this is basically, 1 round of pineapple. It's about 1/2 inch thick. We're just going to put it in. And that is essentially the entirety of this. When we run it through the blender, it comes out. Where is it? Here it is. It comes out looking like this. You know, it's quite pretty. It's quite it's quite viscous. It'll stick to the leaves. Just to show this one off, I'm going to toss it quickly with some red leaf lettuce.
You know how I store my salad dressings, Nick? When I'm finished with a bottle of California balsamic, I put it in the dishwasher so the label comes off, and then I use that as the bottle for my homemade dressings.
There you go. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit on. We're going to go really simple with this. I'm just going to toss it like that, and then I'm going to put put it on the plate, and just put some red onion on it. You know, there's a great tradition in Europe of a very light salad made primarily of greens, served at the end of the dish. And we'll put that out there. Let's get some onion. So that's it, number one. Number two, I'm going to use a spice blend that's very, very familiar to our SOS free crowd, and that is our Sole della Toscana. This is an Italian blend. It's not a herb-driven Italian blend. It's really the main flavors behind this are sun-dried tomato and garlic, and then we have some porcini mushroom, a little bit of chilies, and some rosemary. With the Sole della Toscana, we're going to do a creamy Italian dressing. And our strategy to thicken it this time, we're going to use carbohydrates. We're going to use beans. And that's a third of a cup of cannellini beans. Cannellini beans are also sometimes called white kidney beans. It's not a lot, but you know that little bit of beans is going to be plenty to thicken up this dressing. I'm also going to put some tahini in this. Tahini is sesame paste, and sesame paste also really is a great thickener. A lot of times for a salad dressing, the primary thickener I would use would be just tahini and lemon juice, and I let it sit for a while and then shake it, and it doesn't blend together well, which is part of the charm behind it, but it does act a lot like olive oil might in a salad dressing. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of the tahini, and that's my strategy for thickening. Let's put some liquids in. Because this is an Italian blend, we're going to do red wine vinegar. In this case, I'm using a pretty predictable red wine vinegar. I like to use varietals when I can get them, but I don't have them right now, so this is what we're using. Isn't that the way it is? You cook with what you got. Just going to put a tablespoon in, and a half a cup of warm water with the Sole della Toscana. And this is one of the great things about salad dressings that aren't made with oil, is if you need to thin them out, you just use water. Where I put my Sole della Toscana. I'm going to want to do 2 teaspoons again. And then I also, for me, Italian means lemons. So I'm just going to add, let's roll this first. Just going to add the juice of 1 lemon, half a lemon, sorry. And I was going to actually squeeze it with my juice squeezer, but I don't think it's necessary. Now that is the basis of this entire dressing, and when it's run through the food processor, it has this lovely pink color, which it pulls from the Sole della Toscana. One thing I did notice just before this started, I tasted this, and I felt like it didn't really have kind of that tanginess that I wanted. So I'm going to use one of my favorite things to add to that. And I hope Thomas is still listening, because this is classic balsamic. It's an 18-year-old balsamic vinegar that I get from Thomas. And I think balsamic is totally appropriate for an Italian dressing, wouldn't you think?
Jeff, that's the Trait Classique balsamic. That's 6% acidity. So that works really well.
Okay, and so this one, what I'm going to do is take a little different approach to it. Instead of putting this on greens, I'm just going to do a chickpea salad. So I rinsed some organic canned sodium-free chickpeas in here. I'm going to dress them with the salad dressing. We're going to toss them. And so let's do this. I'm going to put just a little bit of greens down, just a bed of greens. We'll put the chickpea salad right on top. And for the chickpea salad, I think I'm going to put some red onion again. As you might be able to tell, I love red onion. I love the look of it, and I love the flavor. And in this case, I happen to be doing some cabbage in the mandoline, so I was able to make the red onion very thin, which is even prettier. And I think that's just good enough. I was gonna actually, yeah, let's throw some seed on. This is just half and half pumpkin seed and sunflower seed. Nice little topper. These are organically grown and raw, unroasted, which is very nice. We have just one more to cover, and this one is my favorite. This one really it's an extraordinary flavor. It uses a spice blend with a flavor that very few people are familiar with, but it is a traditionally significant. It's considered kind of the main flavor from the Caucasus regions, particularly of Georgia. It's called Kameli Sinelli. Kameli Sinelli, it's an herb blend primarily. As an herb blend, as I mentioned earlier, it's dominated by the flavor of savory. Savory is a very close relative to basil. So it's kind of got those bright flavors that we get from basil that we love so much. But to me, it's kind of a cleaner, more of a springy flavor. It's hard to describe it other than I find it sweeter and more simplistic. I love it to death. So let's see. I think I'll have to use this to put that into. So to make this, we're going to use something different. The strategy to thicken involves nuts. And for me, usually when I use nuts as a thickener, I tend to reach for cashew nuts because it's a more neutral flavor. It's a sweet flavor, and it makes kind of a creamy feeling and a flavor. In this case, coming from the Caucasus region, where walnut is a very significant flavor to them, we're going to use walnuts. This is a quarter cup of walnut. We're going to stay with red wine. I'm going to go with 2 tablespoons of the red wine.
So that spice was made from Milli Vanilli?
Practically. If you know what, AJ, if you haven't tried Kameli Sinelli, you got to tell me, and I'm going to send you some. It has, it's driven by the flavor of the summer savory, but it also has some fenugreek, which is just kind of a slight maple tone to it, which is what makes it feel so characteristically, Caucasian or Russian to us. I'm going to throw some garlic in here, just a little bit, 1 clove. And because it's going to go through the food processor, I'm not even going to chop it up. I'm just going to throw a clove in whole. So while I'm peeling this, I'm also going to put in 2 tablespoons of tahini. Hang on, we're almost there. Should have had this peeled. There we go. 2 more tablespoons of tahini. And of course, the flavor of sesame is also very appropriate to the region. Okay. 2 tablespoons of tahini. I put the vinegar in, yeah. Tahini. Oh, 1/4 cup of water. The Camelli Sinelli. And this one needed a salty flavor, so we're adding about 1/4 teaspoon of local spicery salacious salt substitute. So that's the blend. And when you run it through the blender, it comes out looking like this. It's quite rich, quite creamy. Oh, has a strong flavor of walnuts, citrus, and the Camelli Sinelli spice blend. For this one, actually here, for this one, I'm going to toss it with, let's see, it's a little bit too much. I'm going to pull some out here. So this is just some thinly sliced cabbage. Put the dressing in there. Lid stop. Now, what I'd love to add on this, I didn't have it. Usually, I would put some beets, either pickled or just poached beets is quite nice. So this one, we don't need to dress it very much, just a little bit because it's a very strong flavor. We're going to put some red onion. And as I was running out of the house, I looked in the refrigerator and I had these beautiful pickled carrots, which are just perfect. And I stole this from my wife. She put this together for her lunches. She loves to do a lot of batch cooking, but here's just a little bit of some purple cabbage on top for color. And there we have it. 3 salad dressings, 3 salads. Now, if you had made these dressings, what could you do with them besides what I did with them here? I'll give you some additional ideas. The dressing with the rincon, it's almost sweet. It's more of a tangy flavor. I would use that in a heartbeat on cabbage to make kind of a lightly dressed cabbage would be great. I would use it on cauliflower or oven roasted any oven roasted vegetables. Salad dressings are great on salads, but they're all wonderful marinades. The Italian, mostly I think of that as something I use on in a salad. With the beans in it, it just feels more appropriate that way. And for the Camelli Sinelli, it's almost like a cream sauce. So in addition to using it as a salad dressing, you could use it on almost any kind of dressing, almost any kind of vegetable that you're cooking. I very nearly wilted the cabbage for this dish. I think wilted would be spectacular. So that's our quick summary: 3 quick salads, 3 quick salad dressings, and some strategies on how you can make your own. It's all very easy, very fast. One thing that the people listening right now don't know is, just before we came on, Thomas was talking about he's coming up on his 7th anniversary. And I didn't say it back then, but we haven't beat, because Evelyn and I just came back from celebrating our 34th. We went up into the Sierras. We stayed in a rustic cabin just outside of Gray Eagle, where they prepare all your food for you. You stay in the cabin and you hike your butt off all day long. But they did a spectacular job of they say that they'll follow any dietary restrictions you're doing, and they did a spectacular job of preparing vegan dishes for us for every meal. It was a great time. And that's what I've got for you today, Chef.
Well, that's cool. So where is this place that you went on your adventure?
So Gray Eagle, it's about 2 hours out of our house, heading due east out on Highway 49. The place we stayed is called the Gold Lake Lodge. If you do stay there, make sure you tell them in advance what your dietary restrictions are. It's a relatively tiny endeavor that's run by a local couple. The husband is the chef, and he'll break his fingers to try to make what you want. You're from where our cabin was. We were about a 10-15 minute walk to the first of a series of alpine lakes. Just spectacular scenery.
Well, that sounds amazing. So what have we got for next month, guys? Thomas, you usually set the stage with a certain flavor of vinegar and tell people how they could submit recipes and how they can win a free bottle.
True. Oh, we do have one more quick recipe to do from Nicole Perry. And Nick, good for you. Gray Eagle is a fantastic spot. We've done a festival up there a couple of times. It's just gorgeous. Up that part of the way, up in the foothills of the Sierra. Chef, you're going to be able to, from your place outside of Sacramento, just heading up Highway 80 and then cutting off to go to some of these beautiful cities up your way. It's just gorgeous in the fall. So explore them. I think you're really going to like them.
Nice.
So, okay, the last recipe we have is from Nicole Perry, and this is in the show notes. It's a farro recipe with. Let me just go over it real quick. It's 2 cups of cooked farro. We did a can of black beans, although for this particular one we'd use red kidney beans, and then a red pepper diced, a cucumber diced, a half a cup of corn, a 1/4 cup of chopped cilantro, and a 1/4 cup of our cilantro balsamic. And mix all the ingredients in a large bowl, let them chill for 30 minutes, and serve it. And it can be prepared a day ahead of time. And this is another super one. Nicole finishes with, P.S. Your products are the best and make being SOS free so much easier. So thank you, Nicole. That is very sweet of you. And so this is a serving of it right here. And that's what it is. Easy. And this is a delicious. I love farro. I prefer that over quinoa. But if we do quinoa, I always use the red. Do you have a choice, Chef, between red and white quinoa?
I like the multicolor one, the one I get at Trader Joe's. It's all 3 colors. That's my favorite.
Sure. Oh, good for you. And let's see. Next month, we're doing autumn apple is our flavor. Getting into the fall season, apple season is going to start soon. So we're going to use autumn apple as our flavor for next month. And if you have any recipes, be sure to send it to orders@californiabalsamic.com. And if we choose your recipe for the broadcast, you're going to get 2 8-ounce bottles of your choice of our balsamic as a thank you gift, and doing that. And if we don't have any little kids with us next time, which we will, if we're not having a kid, we've got a cute little puppy dog here, and we're house sitting for our friend Victoria. She's back in Michigan for a couple of weeks. Victoria is a big surfer, and as a surfer, cute little Gidget is her dog here. And I'm sure anybody that's near our age remembers the show Gidget a bazillion years ago, back in the early 60s.
God, she's so cute. She reminds me of Bailey. She's so cute. Is she part Havanese or part poodle?
She's a water crescent and poodle.
Water chestnut and poodle.
No.
little culinary joke there. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
She is adorable.
Chinese crescent. Oh my gosh, she is so sweet.
If you guys want to do a recap and show what you made again, and they said hold it up real close to the camera if possible.
Sure. So that's the farro. That's the quinoa one there. Quinoa salad. These are the tacos with portobellos, and finally the farro. And if I just love the farro one, I'm just a big fan of farro.
It's beautiful. And Nick, you want to show your 3 creations?
Sure. So this is the cabbage with the creamy camelli dressing. And this is just a chickpea salad with the creamy Italian using Sole della Toscana. And this one is just a simple green salad with the Rincon Puerto Rican dressing.
Beautiful. Nick, we will always be forever grateful for your Sole del Toscano spices and the herbs to make our 7-herb Italian with your products. It's always our best seller. So thank you for making that.
We did it just for you.
You guys have excellent plating skills.
Well, we watch a lot of your programs, and a lot of your guests are exactly what we base it all off of. So thank you.
You guys are great. Well, thank you so much. Thanks, both of you, for a fun show.
Great to see you.
Look forward to
AJ.
seeing you. Yep. All right, Nick, talk to you soon.
Hope to see you in person, but for sure we'll see each other at the September event, guys. Tickets are selling like hotcakes. So if you want to get early bird, get one now. And thanks for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time for Dr. Stefan Esser. He'll be answering your questions as well as giving a little presentation on PRP and things like that.